Hi guys. Okay, so it's MerMay. Here is one of my little mermaids. She is a mermom since Mother's Day is coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and I am coloring this coloring page. It's actually the beginning of a greeting card. So I'm going to color it in with my Prisma Soft Pastels. So I am just taking a paintbrush and I am brushing on the different colors. It is okay that this looks streaky. It is coral here in the background, since mermaids live in coral caves. So it's okay that this is a little streaky, adds the different depths and dimensions and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and darken in each of these little spots. Now this was a really fun piece to draw because I was asking around how people thought mermaids had babies. Were those babies born like human babies? Or were they born like fish babies? Did a mermaid lay eggs like fish? And I got some great answers. I got some, well, they're mermaid from the tail down. So they're fish from the tail down, and they're mammals from the waist up. So therefore, they would give birth like mammals. Or they live in the water, so of course they give birth like fish. Um, all sorts of fun answers. Then, of course, there were the people, well, mermaids don't exist. Like, well, we know mermaids don't exist, or at least we think mermaids don't exist. So it was just fun. So here I am, and I don't know what is going on with this autofocus. I am so sorry it keeps going in and out like that. So I added some different shades of blue here to the water. And I found out that if you use a kneaded eraser, you can actually pick up the soft pastel to white. Like, it doesn't even leave a residue behind you. Do you want to use the kneadable eraser? You can pick up the different parts of the soft pastel. What's great about the kneadable eraser is you can also roll that into a very fine point so that you can get those really small areas. So here I am using the pastels again to just color in their skin, paint in their skin. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot stand the way chalk pastels feel in my hand. I don't like the residue that they leave on you when you pick up and color with them. I don't. So I actually prefer using them dry like this with a paintbrush. I do have a video coming out soon where I actually take the soft pastels and turn it into a paint. I did have to pick them up in order to make the paints, and it was awful. I really, really, really don't like the feel of these in my hands. I also don't like coloring with charcoals for the same reason, because I don't like the way it feels in my hands. Oh, and then you can also brush your brush, if you were using it like this, on your kneadable eraser. You're going to see that a few times here throughout the video. It takes all of the pastel out of the brush as well. So here I am just using some brown and some gray and some yellow ochre and some black to make the stones of their cave that they're sitting on. This is actually the second version of this greeting card. The first version, I really disliked the way the mom's mermaid face turned out. So I didn't use that one. I didn't use that one for the submission that I was submitting these greeting cards for. So I redid the whole line art because her face turned out that wonky looking. So while I'm finishing up cleaning up here, cleaning up where the dirt colors got on her and him, maybe I'll talk a little bit about some other stuff going on in the business. Um, these, like I've been saying, I've submitted for greeting cards, so I am working on getting some lines of greeting cards out. I just finished up ACO April, where I made a different trading card every day in the month of April, which also then led right into MerMay. So the trading cards are actually available in prints. Those will be available on the website here soon, but I'm also using that art and I'm adding a bunch to my Redbubble store. So all of those things are going to be linked in the description box below. You can shop Redbubble, you can shop the website. I'll also have links to the pastels and things that I'm using in case you want to pick up a set for yourself. I've also am working on a variety of painting parties as well as paint party courses so that you can host your own painting parties. Those are all coming to you here in the future, and as well as working on some new products for my Teachers Pay Teachers store. Now, in my Teachers Pay Teachers store, you can get digital downloads of prints. You can get digital downloads of coloring books. You can get digital downloads of individual pages. Pretty much everything in the Teachers Pay Teachers store is a digital download. There are no physical products. Here I am showing once again just erasing on the kneadable eraser. You can get all of the pastel out of your paintbrush. It makes it really easy to not muddy up your colors when you're switching between colors. Also in my Teachers Pay Teachers store, I have turned some of these trading cards into posters, as well as other trading cards into story starters. So if any of that is good for you, I will link that as well. Here is my magic touch. Okay, so this is let's get back to the art right here. So now I am using my Winsor & Newton Colorless blender. And I am just going over the coral area. I'm using the bullet nib to go close around the mermaid herself, using the chisel end in the large brush strokes, and just filling in all of these different areas. I'm starting with the coral so that I don't muddy up the colors. You want to do this one color at a time, and you want to clean off your brush in between the colors, or not your brush, I'm sorry, your blender. You want to clean off your blender, unless you're okay with some of the colors being blended together. Like here, I don't mind if a little bit of the blue, a little bit of the red shows up in the blue there, making a little bit darker area. So I'm going to just take a scrap piece of paper and color on it to make sure there's no residue on my colorless blender. Now here I'm actually using a little bit of a circular motion instead of just straight up and down. I want my rocks to look different textured than the coral at the top. And so you just go and go around. Now I'm going to show you something here. Look, it got on my finger. So here's my other hand, which is clean. I'm going to rub where the colorless blender is. Nothing. So going over the soft pastels with your colorless blender seals it into the paper. Like here, I'm even rubbing on the finished version a couple days later when I'm doing the voiceover. And honestly, I have nothing on my hands whatsoever. Even from the very first one that I didn't like, which I did a couple days before this one, there is nothing coming off on my fingers when I rub on it. So just moving between the chisel end and the bullet nib, filling in the different small areas. And this is going to seal the soft pastel color and pigment into the paper itself. Like I said, this one was a lot of fun. The other one that I had briefly mentioned where I use the soft pastels as a paint, that is a mermaid as well. And that video will be coming shortly. I'll be sure to have it here in May sometime for you. Be watching for a collaboration with Black Summer Coloring. We are exchanging line art of our mermaids, and we'll be coloring those, and we'll be sharing those with you as well. You noticed I kind of took a kneaded eraser there on top of the sealed pastel, and it does not come off. So here I am just adding some highlights to the eyes and to the mouth, a little bit to the fins and a little bit to her hair. A little highlights on her scales as well. There we have it. There is our final copy of this mom and her mer son, this mer mom and her mer son. This was a great technique. It was a lot of fun. I definitely will be doing it again because I love the look of soft pastels and I hate the way they feel. So it works out really well. And the color does stay on the paper when you seal it with the Colorless blender. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out at the end where I have some other videos that you might like. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great one.